Hello. Um,
Okay.
how you guys doing? I'm gonna tonight we're gonna just go over. I'm just changing the grading scale a little bit, and I think that it'll be more fair based on the just as this quarter was or semester I should say was such an odd one. So anyway, I'm going to go through some of the changes that we're going to have to it, and then also a couple of the assignments that I've also changed.
Yeah, because I'm writing everything down now. You might owe me some points.
I probably do owe you some point. Yeah, I think that. Well, yeah, I know you got the personal marketing one in already. So anyway, we'll go through this for. Let me change my camera. Okay, give it a little doggy. Okay, so these are the points for each of the assignments. Let me see if that focuses a little better. All right, so these are the assignments that we're going to have, and I got them listed basically by points. You know, the biggest points near the top, and the lowest points near the bottom. All right, now there's a total. We still have a total of 870 points, but I'm making the grading scale based on 800. Even though all these add up to 870, the grading scale is going to be based on 800. So there's basically 70 extra credit points. They're available in however you want to think about it is up to you. But there's 70 points of extra credit available. So out of the 870, you need 744 of them to get an A, because it's going to be based on the 800. So, you can miss some of the points and still get an A in the class. So there's 870. It's being based on 800, and that's makes effectively there's 70 extra credit points. The reason for doing that is partly because of in classes, a lot of times we'll have extra credit points given out and so forth. So those things that were not available to do in class, it's sort of like adding them in here. So anyway, it's going to be based on 800 points. So to get an A, 744, and going down the scale, you can see where you need. Okay, so this is the new scale. And these are the things that are a little bit different. This is one that I've talked about before, but all late assignments will be accepted without penalty. Any previously graded assignments can be resubmitted without penalty. So if you got okay, so this is all without penalty. So this would be like if you suppose you submitted something. You received, say, 70 points out of 120. If you resubmit it, you can get the whole 120. So if you're missing something or for whatever it was, I should have put a note in there saying what it was. But if you're missing something, you can resubmit it without penalty. And so you can if you resubmit it and get everything in, you can get 120 out of the 120. So again, resubmitting, you will not be penalized either. And it's strongly encouraged that you turn in every assignment. If there's nothing there, I can't grade it. But if there's something there, you can get a grade for it. And again, this is a numbers game. So even if you don't get, even if you turn something in and you don't get all the numbers for it, it'll still, it can still move you up. And you'll notice that, for example, the difference between a B plus and an A minus is only 24 points. You know, so a reflective journal could move you up a letter grade. So I would strongly encourage you to turn everything in. The My Profession assignment has been eliminated. I was a little bit surprised. No one in either of my two classes, EBL300 class, I should say, have done this. So this is obviously something that I didn't go over very well. So the My Profession assignment has been eliminated. I don't think anyone has done it. If you have done it, I'll give you the points for it, but no one, I don't think, has done this one. The Chapter 6 group presentation. Now, the group presentations were kind of hectic because of the logistics of it. Group projects are not easy when you're in class, much less, much worse, I should say, when you don't have class. So a lot of it was just trying to get people to match up, and it turned out to be quite difficult to get people. And then so anyway, if you wanted to do this, the group presentation, you can do it as an individual assignment. And I sent out a copy of it, and I'll go over that just basically when I'm done with this. But so if you're going to do it, you can do it as an individual. If you've already done it in a group, you'll get extra credit points added in. So if you did it in a group, because of the extra effort involved and that sort of thing, you get the extra credit points. But you can also get all the points even if you do it as an individual. So, you can do that as an individual rather than as a group. The personal marketing advertisement assignment, I'm going to send out one that's more of a fill in the blank one. The original one I sent out was kind of a little bit, well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it kind of had a lot of stuff in there. So this one is more going to be a fill in the blank type of thing that you kind of go through and put in those things that are important on your personal marketing advertisement. And basically the advertisement's a little bit misleading. The advertisement is really towards your customer, which is the employer. I'll talk about that a little bit when we go over it. If you already completed this, don't do it again. You're already done. So anyway, so these are the four somewhat changes that we're going to have here. And again, the My Profession one eliminated. Group ones you can do on your own, and the personal marketing advertisement, I put it kind of as a fill in the blank one, just to simplify it a little bit. Some people were a little bit unsure of what to do with it, but so I kind of made it into a little bit more of a that kind of thing. And again, highly recommended that you turn in any missing assignments. I'll take them all the way up until the end of the quarter. It will not be penalized. The whole point of this class is to get you guys a good marketing, or I should say a professional portfolio, good resume, good cover letter, all that kind of stuff in there. Also give you a little bit of exposure to doing the videos and that sort of thing, because those are, especially nowadays, those are going to be key. But anyway, so these are the new changes. So the new grading scale is going to be an easier one. The old one was based on 920, I think. This one's based on 870, but even better, there's 70 extra credit points because it's based on an 800-point rubric. So 70 of these, I don't, however you want to do it, are extra credit points, and these are what you need to get the grade for the class. And also, part of the reason we're doing this, the group presentation is that, again, these group ones were just, group ones are never easy, but usually you have one or two problems, and whereas this was dozens of problems. So anyway, you should be able to complete the course without doing a group project, basically. Is it ideal? No, but we need to adapt. Okay. So any questions on that? Question?
So we ain't got to do my profession, right?
You don't have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have a question.
Yeah.
So this is going to be replacing the personal marketing advertisement files. That's what I'm seeing on my the My Grades tab on Blackboard.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. This will be, yeah, I don't know why it says files, but let's get a pen that writes about. So yeah, that's what this one is. The personal marketing advertisement. I should change that. You know, another thing about this course that I'm sure you guys have picked up on is if you look at these assignments are really more likely in-class assignments. I'm sure you guys have picked up on that. They don't really read like like normal online ones. So anyway, because of that, we're going to go ahead and change the grading scale a little bit, but still the most important things, coming to here, the most important things are, this, those obviously go into this interview acquisition one. The group presentations, again, that's good for like teamwork and that sort of thing. But again, this is just too difficult for it. So anyway, yeah. So the personal marketing statement is personal marketing statement. The files, those are basically what we're going to do here. So anyway, so on the grading, if you have any questions on that, you can email me and I'll talk about it, or talk to me afterward. Okay, the personal marketing one is just basically, you filling in the blanks kind of thing. This is what most of you guys are going to have, but you're going to fill in your graduation date, your degree, field study. If you have a job, especially if it's applicable to what you're applying for, you put that in. Work experience, I would probably keep that to a minimum, unless you're already in the field. There are some people who are taking this class who are already working at the job they want to get. So, any volunteer jobs, any leadership jobs, career experience, include internships in that one. You can also include the internships up here if you wanted. But, you're putting in those things somewhere in there. You should have the internships, especially because a lot of times those will be the most applicable experience that you have in, for your first professional job, your first career professional job. Applied skills, the soft skills, and the technical skills. Sometimes called the hard skills. But basically the communication, reliability, all that kind of stuff, those soft skills, this is kind of a key word, maybe, 10 years ago or something, but that's what they kind of look for. And then Word, Excel, all that kind of stuff. Now this is where the advertisement thing comes in, because you think about advertising, you have a customer. And in this case, the customer is the employer or prospective employer. So the advertising, you try, customers, their needs or their wants or whatever it is. That's what you're going to do for the employer. So this whole thing is from the employer's needs. Now, employer's needs are usually the skills, keywords, that sort of thing that we had from the target job deconstruction. So if they want somebody who's a team leader, they want someone who's good at communications, they want somebody who's good at organized, they want somebody who, whatever it is. You are going to try to aim this, at their needs, and their needs come from that target job deconstruction generally. So whether it's team player, whatever it is, these are what you aim at. So again, the advertisement is not advertising yourself; it's advertising yourself to fill a need by the employer. a need or wants. The employer is your customer. So the whole thing, it's not going to be focused on you or puffing yourself up. Basically, it's going to be on what you can do for the employer. And so the whole thing is, the whole idea of advertisement is towards your client, which is the employer.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So in this part 3 of this assignment, would this be bullet points, or would you want it more of a paragraph format, or is it up to us?
Entirely up to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and again, this is, if you take this file, I put it in Word. It's also in PDF format. But if you can actually just use the file too, though. Again, you can change this however you need to. If you're based on a Schaumburg or whatever, you make whatever corrections you have. And if something is not applicable, just take it out completely. You don't have to leave this in. So anyway, so this is kind of a fill in the blank more thing. This is actually in the first one I sent out, but it's kind of muddled up a little bit. It looks a little more confusing than it really is. So anyway, so this is the basic format for this. And again, if you've already done this, do not do it again. Okay, so yeah, if this is already completed, obviously, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it twice. You can do it twice if you want, but probably have better things to do. Okay, any question on that? Okay, so again, I strongly encourage you to get that in also. Again, if you already did it, don't do it again. The group presentation is done as an individual. Now, if you've already done the group project, you're going to get extra credit points. You don't do this twice. So this is only for students who are unable to complete the assignment in a group for whatever reason. Sometimes it was a scheduling conflict. Sometimes the group members didn't contact them back or whatever it was. That you can complete this on your own and get all the points. Again, if you've done it in a group, you'll get extra credit points. And the extra credit points are basically there because it does take more effort to do it in a group. However, you can still.
So with the group presentation, we got 100 points for what we did in the group. We getting more points, so we already got the points.
I haven't put any of the extra credit points in.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not sure who's going to do it in a group. You can still do it in a group.
I mean, we already did ours in the group. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, you'll get extra credit points. I'll add all those in. So it's easy to, when you go through I'm not going to pull up the grade book because it has other people's grades in it, but it'll show the grades for the entire group, and you change those for everybody. Yeah. So and I will be adding those in. So anytime there's a group one, I'll add an extra credit. Let me see what it is. What is it? 120? No, it's 100. I'll add another 10 points onto it for every group. Let me write that down so I don't forget. So it'll still be based on 100, but there'll be 10 extra credit points added on, which again will get you closer to that stuff. Okay. So if you're doing this presentation, if you already did it in a group, this does not apply to you, and you'll get the extra credit points. So anyway, if you're doing this as an individual, you can take any topic out of Chapter 6. It can just be one topic if you want. That's fine. Again, people did more than one topic generally in the groups, but if you just invite yourselves, you can create a PowerPoint presentation, and then you record the PowerPoint with your voiceover. And by the way, you can also, if you want to put this into a video, you can export it to the MP4 format, more specifically called the MPEG-4 format. So you can actually, if you go into PowerPoint, I think it's PowerPoint. I think from Office 2010 on. If you have Office 2007, you're not gonna be able to do it. But if you have 2010, or later, You can actually export as MP4. So my point being is that if somebody doesn't have PowerPoint, you can export it as MP4, and they can see it that way. You can also export it to MP4 and load it into YouTube if you want, and it'll have your voice in and all that kind of stuff. So the PowerPoint presentation, you can export it as an MP4 by itself. There's other ways to do it, but this is probably definitely the easiest ways to do it is going to be to export it. And it's under the files on the left hand side of it. Okay, and you're going to submit it into the week 6 chapter presentation. And we did it actually on chapter 6. Chapter 6 kind of a heavy duty chapter. So the week 6 presentation, this is where you're going to do to submit it. So the group project, if you do it on your own, submit it your file and under the week 6 chapter presentation assignment. And again, you don't have to do it to insert, but if you want to export it to MP4, you certainly can. If you want to just upload the MP4, you could also put it into YouTube if you want, and just send me the link. Whatever works best. The nice thing, I'll tell you the nice thing about YouTube, and this is if you're sending this to an employer. The good thing about YouTube is that they do closed captioning. That the closed captioning, it automatically does it when you upload it. It does a closed captioning so that people can actually read it, what you're saying, rather than necessarily hear it. So that if for whatever reason they can't hear it, they can do closed captioning. Or if they're in an office and they don't want to disturb everyone around them, they can see the closed captioning. So if you send a video to somebody else, if you post it on YouTube, you can do it private, where it's not publicly available. They have to have the link to see it. And it'll automatically do the closed captioning. So it's a very good feature to have. And also, if you're doing videos for other people for your work, by law, those videos need to be closed captioned. We use it at the school here because of that. Legally, we must have closed captioning. Okay, any questions on that? All right, so that's it. So basically, the new grading scale, which is advantageous. No negatives here as far as the published one, and then these things. You resubmit anything without penalty. This assignment's been eliminated. No one's done it anyway, so well, it wasn't exactly a popular one. And then the presentations can be done as an individual, and the personal marketing advertisement is I sent you a fill in the blank one that you kind of fill in. This isn't any different than what we sent out before. It's just a little kind of a more succinct. And again, if you've already done it, don't do it again. So, any questions on it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
With the interview acquisition plan, it could be a PowerPoint or a video, right?
Correct.
And then you have a video showing how it should be done by somebody else that did it.
There are videos. They're in the.
In the files.
Yeah. The
Okay.
let me check and make sure. I'm not lying to you, but I believe
It's the interview action plan. I don't think, is that it? It say action on here instead of acquisition. I don't know if that would be it. No. I don't know.
I do remember an action plan, but it's the same thing. Let me take a look at the links here and see.
Because you showed a video last week.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
Hello, my name is Abby Cardew.
Yeah, it's actually, they're in a, yeah, the interview action plan. That's what they called it, I guess, before. These are students have turned in before. So let me show you what I'm looking at. That might help.
It ain't on my side, it's just on your side then.
Yeah, so here, yeah, if you go into,
I'm in there,
okay,
but it don't say it on my side.
it doesn't say interview action plan?
Nope, it just say interview action plan, but it don't have any recording in there.
So you're
It's
in the files thing?
Yep,
So complete files? It's not.
it only have one in there. And that's just giving me a piece of paper.
When do you have it down in the student examples? Do you have one for
Nope.
Cardew? No. Let me see something. It'd be very odd, but it could be that it's not in this class for some reason. It's in there. You're under complete EBL300 files?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely in there. They call it an action plan, interview action plan, but other than that, it's.
I have the interview action plan, but it's just giving me a piece of paper. It's not like giving me that video that you watched.
It could be a different one because I was able to access the video, the one that you clicked, Professor.
Okay. Well, you could also, let me see something.
Hello, my name is Abby Cardew, and today I will be presenting my interview acquisition plan. I apologize in advance that I cannot play it in a bigger screen. I am not able to click on things and bring you to them when I go through the slideshow. So.
Okay. Kick me out. Let me see here. We do one more thing here. You may also, let me see if you can right click and have it open with something else.
Hello, my name is Abby Cardew, and today I will be presenting my interview acquisition plan. I apologize in advance that I cannot play it in a bigger screen.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not. It's pulling it up in Firefox. It might be something with the player.
Okay.
You know, but I wonder if you could save it.
Okay, I was just looking through this thing again with this peers evaluation for the LinkedIn. I got to fill that out for my peers, for the 3 people I'm connected with.
Yeah, and if you can't do it for them, you can do it for other people too. You know, I mean, you can just go find anyone's profile too. And so the best thing to do is to find their profile because you probably learn more from it. But you could also find anyone and look at it and do a critique of it. That may not be a bad assignment actually. Find somebody's that has something positive and something negative or something. You know, that might be a good one to do. But so
I guess I'm supposed to rate it.
Yeah, you go down there and just see what what they've done, and again, there's no right or wrong in the way you're rating it, but how you feel that they've accomplished whatever those are, the 4 criteria.
So that well, I can put your name up there too, then, right?
Certainly.
Okay. So that goes for my 50 points for my LinkedIn peers. That's what I'm on. LinkedIn peers are 60 points.
I think it's 60, yes, 60 points. Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, now I know how I'm gonna get my 60 points. Now I didn't see this before.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't have to do that LinkedIn screen now. Okay.
Yeah. LinkedIn was 50. I think it's 50. I got it right in front of me here. Yeah, so, and you'll notice something though, that you wonder why is this 60 and this is only 50? the idea is that you learn a lot from looking at that. I mean, even though it is a critique of other people's, the idea is that you look at something and say, oh, that's terrible. I don't ever want to do that. Or that's great. I want mine to look like, that person, or, whatever it is. So even though it might look like it's, you're being critical of them, at the same time, it's going to give you better information for your own.
And that scale that you made, that really, if you really want to know, that didn't really make it better for me. It took the points down, but it still made it where I had to do all them assignments. If that was what you was trying to get around, that didn't help. Because that means I still had to,
it will help. It will
I still
help.
had to do all the assignments as I did the scale with my points. I
Mhm.
still had to do all the assignments except one. Mhm.
Well, you could, on the wrong camera. Big melon in there. You basically do have at least 70 points that you don't need to do. Yeah. Look, even if, let's say that you didn't do the personal, let's say you didn't do the job deconstruction.
I did everything except number 1, 5, and 6. I can't get out of doing number 1. That's 150 altogether. That's 150.
Yeah.
I have to basically do I have to do the link.
Well,
That's
no.
fine, Teach.
No. Look, if you do this one, that's 150. You're right. You have to do that one. But 5 and 6, you said you have to do.
I'm not. Yeah, 5 and 6. But I'm not doing 6. But that's the 2. That's the 3 that's left out.
Okay. Well, let's see. If you took that out, put this one back in. This would still be 810. And so you'd have 810 to get 744. You definitely do it.
My math probably ain't right tonight.
Yeah. So the 70 points is, it's kind of a funny thing because there's nothing on here for 70 points. But basically you could get all 800 points and not do the last, these last 2 or whatever however you want to figure.
I did all that though, teacher. So that's not really helping.
Well, no, that does help. If you did these, that means you can eliminate something else. Yeah, no, and and 2, make sure that you get all the points in, for whatever that you're doing. And usually, the points that people lose are generally for people leaving out stuff. For instance, the resume, cover letter, references, they'll go to the resume, and those points in the cover letter, references. So getting everything in, the points in is key, but it's definitely going to be easier to get a grade. There's no way that this is not going to be easier to get a grade. And if you notice, the difference between these is, like, for instance, the difference between a B and an A is 24 points. Well, this is taking 70 points off of it. Theoretically, this would probably bump you up at least, or I should say almost a grade.
Okay, all I need is 744 points. Is basically
744. That's the you do 745, well, you're just wasting time. Yeah. So this will, but then again, this will help people get out of it. Now, I would strongly encourage that you do all of them, just because in case there is a problem, that if you lose some points here or there, you're still going to be able to, persevere down here. So. But again, if you have obviously you have other classes, so don't, if you got an A already, don't. I understand it's guns or butter at this point. What are you going to spend your money on? So, however much time you want to spend on them, you can, you can determine that yourself.
So, do you got a video up for last week?
I thought I did.
I didn't look. I didn't say you didn't. I just didn't.
I'm not sure. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually forgot it when my other class put it up. I put the interview acquisition plan up, so I think that was last week. Yep, it's up. Let me check and make sure it's up in both classes.
So I will go to YouTube for that, right?
Yeah, it's a link to YouTube.
Okay.
Let's see if I have it up in both classes just to make sure. Yeah. Yeah, I feel terrible. I'm teaching an accounting class, and like, students ask me about the video. I'm like, well, just watch the video, and I realized it wasn't.
Okay, I see.
Should have listened to them a little closer. You know, that they're asking about the video because there was no video. Yeah. So anyway, so again, hopefully this will be, it's a more fair, I think, especially because of group projects and that sort of improve the grading. But again, it won't hurt anybody because before it was based on 920, and that was including this 50 points for the my profession, which I took out. So that's gone, and then also the 70 points extra, or they're basically extra credit points. Everyone's available points, maybe is a better way to say it. Yeah, but I mean, these really are the magic numbers. I mean, the problem with these is that a lot of times you don't know this till the end of the quarter, which is but if you get these in, you can kind of keep track of yourself where you're at.
I'm at all I gotta do is one more thing.
Yeah, and again, whenever you're done, obviously that's it for the course. So, and again, another thing with the group project, especially the group chapter 6.1, is that people can do that without the problem of trying to get a group, because some people were okay with getting in groups, and then there was a lot of people that just had scheduling and whatever. It was just impossible. So anyway, considering this semester, this is more fair, I think. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Well, let me see. All right, well, so that's it for tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll answer as best I can. But yeah, we have 2 weeks left. I can't remember. I think we go to the 16th.
I think we go to the 19th, or maybe the 16th. I've been getting them confused.
No, I think you're right. I think it's the 19th. Yeah. So, and by the way, I up until the end of the quarter, I'll take stuff. So, whatever the cutoff is at the end of the quarter, I won't take it after that, obviously. But if you do have a problem with it, for instance, if you have some reason or something you can't get it in, you can also do it incomplete. There's a contract thing that you do for incomplete. You probably don't want to do that unless you have to, but if you do have to, there is that available. So, especially with this semester, that if there's extenuating circumstances, we can certainly do, do an incomplete, and then there's a contract for that. I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly the details of it, but there's some kind of a contract that you say you're going to complete the stuff in a certain period of time. But other than that, other than an incomplete contract, that everything has to be turned in by the 19th. I'm going to check it just to make sure about that, but I mean, I think you're right. I think it is. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have one more question.
Mhm.
When it comes to the LinkedIn peer feedback sheets,
Mhm.
It says in there, membership in 2 professional groups is shown. Where can you find the professional groups? I want to make sure that the people who I am evaluating are in actual groups and not just in, I guess, groups like I know on Facebook, like knitting or something.
I would be a little bit lenient with that. Just if they are in any groups, that I would just probably take it, to be honest with you. But let me take a look here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, because let me go down, make sure that mine are.
Would it be scrolling all the way down to where it says interest? Like right now,
Yeah, it looks like it.
yeah, I'm on yours right now. This is a CPA and business professional group. Robert
Yeah.
Morris, Roosevelt.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
We should probably change that to say interest, professional interest, maybe a better term for that.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to write that down. Yeah, but it would be again. Ideally, they would have some professional group, and you'll see when you go into LinkedIn all the time. They'll pop up these kind of advertising groups. Hey, you're probably interested in this, and whatever it is. And those are the ones that you can. It's based on your profile, and those are usually the ones you can go ahead and click on and become members in those groups. I always get, because I'm in accounting, I always get all these accounting ones, like tax masters and all whatever it is. They put those up there, and I don't know. The whole thing about LinkedIn is it depends on how really active you are in those. Some of those groups I'm sure are very active, and some of them they don't do a lot. It's just sort of something they put on their LinkedIn. So I guess, but here's my point. It's hard to tell the quality of a professional group unless you're actually in it. You can actually see what they're doing. So making a judgment call on it being a professional group is can be a little bit deceiving. They may have a very professional sounding name, but they really don't do much.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and we can go over whatever you want to go over. And again, if you have any questions on the new grading thing too, feel free to contact me.
All right. Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
I will.
Good night.
Good night.